Hey friends, right now the $1,000,000 question is, when can Disneyland reopen? And it seems nobody has an answer, even though there's 1,000 articles going all around the internet saying California is looking at when phase 3 can begin, but the articles give no insider's perspective on when exactly that's going to happen. So I did a little bit of sketching out, looking at what we already know and trying to predict the future, which, as we know with Tomorrowland, no one can ever predict the future. But here's my attempt, and I don't think you're going to like the future that I'm predicting. June 10th, we were told that Disneyland would reopen on July 17th, which would be the 65th anniversary. It sounded too good to be true because it was too good to be true. They were going to reopen the park in just 38 days. Now, I think that if they were going to reopen the park today, I don't know if they could do it in 38 days. Every week, every month that goes by that they're not reopened, I'm only assuming that their workforce is drifting further and further away from them. There's got to be people that are coming up with an alternative plan with their lives than just sitting around waiting to see when the park's going to reopen. So my estimation would be is that right now, it could be much longer than 38 days before they say, we're going to open and reopen. So therefore, that would mean August is done. August is in the rearview mirror, and September is in jeopardy. If we need 45, 50 days to reopen the park, they need to say something before Labor Day weekend for September to even feel possible. Even the first half of October is starting to become questionable. And when we look at the month of October, here in Southern California, nearly every theme park has canceled their Halloween plans, meaning there's not a lot of confidence for October in theme park entertainment. Now, November is going to be wild here in America. We have one of the most contentious elections that will ever take place in the United States, and one that's validity is already being questioned by the president. So therefore, November politically is going to be weird, and that's putting it lightly. But we're also going to have, for the first time, flu season overlapping with coronavirus. November is going to be crazy. And December 2020, I don't see it looking much better because we could still be fighting over the election in December of 2020. One way or the other, it's still going to be the same administration in December. It will just be where is the country's mind at. Also, that will be our second month of flu and COVID-19 coexisting. And COVID-19 has just been compounding in its severity since we started taking it serious back in March, which gets us into January. Now, January, one way or the other, January 20th, we're going to know who our president is. That's going to be a wild day, one way or the other. The reason why I bring this up is we need leadership. We need leadership to lead us through this public crisis. The current administration doesn't seem like they're willing to walk and chew gum at the same time, because as I've seen it, they've only prioritized politics, getting reelected. They've worried more about public perception than they have public safety. So maybe once January 20th passes, the current administration, if it's still their America, maybe they will be ready to implement a national plan, because by then we will be at 3 months with COVID and flu overlapping. But if it is a new administration that comes in, they will get reelected based on the fact that they made America feel like they could create a safer version of America, and they will want to hit the ground running with a national plan, which makes me think that one way or the other, whichever way the ball bounces, sometime in February, the country could be ready to come up with a national plan. Whether it's politics are in the rearview mirror or new folks coming in wanting to prove themselves, somehow in February, the 4th month of COVID and flu coexisting, we could start to erect a plan, which I'm going to predict March 1st. A year later is when we start to take this seriously. Now, public health experts are saying that if we acted today, in the middle of August, it would take 6 weeks to get the country where it needs to be if we had a national plan and we took this serious and we were severe about our plan. I'm thinking that by March, 5 months of flu and COVID coexisting, 6 weeks is optimistic today. There's no way that's happening in March. So let's say that it's somewhere between 6 and 12 weeks. That means that March, April, and May could be spent implementing a plan, getting the entire country for the first time on the same page of how we combat coronavirus, which would lead us into the end of May, which would bring us to the end of May, somewhere in June, where we would start to reopen. California would have to go through phase 1, phase 2, and be eyeballing phase 3 by no later than the middle of May, or dare I say, June 10th, if 38 days would even be possible for the largest employer in Orange County to reopen their gates and assume that they have their workforce back. We would need an announcement somewhere in May, at the latest, somewhere in June, to have a target date of July 17th, 2021, to get the park back open for year 66. After quite possibly it has gone the entire 65th year without one guest going through the front gates of Disneyland. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I hope that I'm wrong. I've never wanted to be more wrong. I really, really hope that I'm wrong. But I'll tell you this, it seems possible that if we don't get in by October, I don't know how it happens in November, December, and January. I don't know what public health feels like in February or March. All I know is this: one way or another, whoever is leading this country, please just lead it. Just come up with a national plan so we can buckle down, do what we got to do, and get to where we need to be. A future that feels normal. The reason why I want a national plan so much, and I've been a rebel my entire life, is that when I went to downtown Disney, it was so nice to see a version of America where everyone was living by the same rules. Everyone was happily abiding by the same agreed upon rules, the same agreed upon version of society. Everyone, for the first time in a long time going out into public, was living in the same reality, in the same America. If Disneyland, which has always been a beacon of hope, which has always been the happiest place on earth for 65 years now, if they can symbolize what a society that's on the same plan looks like, then I'm ready to be in a society that is living by the same plan. So I want the politics to come and go and to pass, and I want whoever is sitting in that White House on January 21st to take this serious, to come up with a plan, and I want everybody to follow that plan so that we can get back to something that feels normal. And to me, normal is going to Disneyland at least once a week. Now, I hate to talk about politics when I talk about the park, but this is one of those moments where the two collide. And I want this storm to pass in the worst way possible. But I think the reason why we've got here is a lack of leadership, a lack of planning, a lack of everyone being on the same page. So I'm hoping and I'm praying two things: that we get a plan and that everybody follows the plan. And the other thing I'm hoping for is I'm hoping that I'm wrong and I get to go into Disneyland and you get to go into the park at some point during its 65th year. But if you look at this timeline, it's not crazy to think that the 65th year may be the year without Disneyland. And sure, they say the park will never be completed as long as there's imagination left in the world. And to that I say, the park will never be closed as long as there's imagination left. Because yeah, the key opens the park, the power turns it back on, but the memories and the magic lives inside of the fans. So if I happen to be right, it's up to you to keep the hope alive and to keep Disneyland inside your heart. Thanks for watching. Would love to know your comments below. I'm not going to engage with anybody that talks politics. I have tried my best to just sort of walk down the middle of that conversation. And I'm saying, one way or the other, we need to come up with a national plan. I don't care if it's Sleepy Joe or Sleepy Donnie. I just need somebody to lead the country so we can get back to living a life that feels normal. And for that, I hope you can agree with me, regardless of what side of the politics that you sit on. The only politics I want to debate with you is how fast can we smash Tomorrowland? So whether it's October, December, January, February, May, or July 17th, 2021, I don't care when it is, I'll be there as soon as they let me through the front gate. As soon as I can get a reservation or an invitation, I will be through the front gate, and I hope to see you there. Live the magic every day, and whatever you do, it's more crucial than ever. Don't stop believing in the magic, because it's real. You just have to look real hard to find it.